We should be responsible and road safety conscious drivers. Therefore, we should bring our own early warning devices at all times. Do you know the proper way of setting them up? Let me show you. Step 1. You must find a safe spot to pull over. Step 2. Turn on your hazard lights. If you are on a one-way road, set up the red triangle first. Based on the recommendation of the LTO or Land Transportation Office, you must put it at least 4 meters away behind your vehicle. To alert other motorists from a distance, set up the yellow triangle at least 4 meters away from the red triangle. If you are on a two-way road, follow the first 3 steps. 1. Find a safe spot to pull over. 2. Turn on the hazard lights. 3. Set up the red triangle at least 4 meters away behind your vehicle. And 4, which is lastly, the yellow triangle should be at least 4 meters away in front of your car. Now, there are 5 most common emergencies and breakdowns a driver might experience while on the road. The 5 things are tire blowout, loss of brake, engine fire, skid and traction loss, and poor visibility. Let us discuss them one by one. Tire blowout. During a tire blowout, there are things you should do. Do not panic. Do not slam on the brake pedal. Look to your target or escape area and safely pull over. Switch on hazard lights and properly place early warning devices. Loss of brake. First, aim to the target area or escape area where there are fewer pedestrians and vehicles. Then release the accelerator because we're trying to slow down. Next, tightly hold and properly control the steering wheel. After that, downshift. Drivers usually call this engine brake or shift the engine to lower gear. Do not turn off the engine because if you do, you lose control of the vehicle. You can use a parking brake instead. Keep the release lever open and use it as a brake. And if your vehicle is still moving and there are pedestrians or other cars that you might crash into, turn on the hazard lights and honk your horn repeatedly to warn them. Lastly, if unavoidable, use a soft crash area where there is less damage or injuries that you might incur, like in grassy lands or open fields. Engine fire. What if your engine misfortune escalated to a next-level disaster? Flare up. This is what you call an engine fire. First, steer out of the traffic, buildings, people, and other cars. Second, have all occupants leave the car immediately and move away. Do not open the hood. Lastly, turn off the ignition, then get out quickly. Skid and traction loss. Skidding or traction loss commonly happens because of slippery surfaces or driving with tires that have worn out treads. It can also occur when you drive very fast or if your wheels lock due to abrupt braking. As a result, the driver loses control over the desired direction he wants to go. Thus, the vehicle might get off track or worse, fall off the road. Here's what you should do to get back on track. Look where you want to go. Steer that way. Off pedals. Release the brake and accelerator to maintain rolling traction. Lastly, never give up. Focus and maintain constant attention to steering until the vehicle is under control. Look, steer, off pedals, and never give up. Look, steer, off pedals, and never give up. Reminder, when we experience skid and traction loss, never take off your hands off the steering wheel. Poor visibility. Lastly, you might also experience poor visibility while driving during unfavorable weather conditions like when it is raining. Also, you might encounter this kind of challenge when there's too much fog, smoke, dust, sun glare, and driving at night or low light. Here are some tips when driving in low visibility conditions. Drive with lights on a low beam. Slow down and do not switch on the hazard lights. Reduce distractions, eyes on the road, and focus on the situation. Use clean wipers or cloths. And stop at a safe place and turn on hazard lights. Reminder, avoid using white headlights because they are blinding to drivers of oncoming vehicles. Final reminders. As a driver, you must prepare before it even happens. Always bring your emergency kit in your car, like a first aid kit, flashlight, and again, an early warning device. During an emergency, stay calm and check for injuries. If there are injured or unconscious passengers, if possible, move them out of the vehicle to a safe place away from oncoming traffic. If injuries have occurred like cuts, abrasions, etc., administer first aid procedures if possible. Safety first. Find out your location, and if anyone is injured, call the PNP hotline 117 or the Red Cross hotline 143 immediately. And if you're safe and sustain no injuries, you can also take a photograph and document the road crash scene, particularly the vehicles, involved parties, witnesses, including the police enforcers or authorities who responded.